Cleanup is just getting started after severe storms swept through over the weekend, bringing heavy rain and lots of hail. There was much rain and hail that it left some streets flooded. It also left some of the drivers stranded. One of the hardest hit spots was in Douglas County at Meridian Boulevard and Oswego Street. South Metro Fire Rescue say that they responded to seven water rescues from the storm that involved stranded cars at intersections. One person says he was driving home from work, saw the intersection was flooded, and thought he could drive through it.
And as soon as I got to probably like right here, basically right here, I felt the car just kind of float. But then a truck turned left and was going this way. And the wake that he created caused the car to turn around. So I was just sitting there, just kind of like, I don't know what to do.
The driver was able to get out of his car and swim to safety. Firefighters are reminding drivers to never try to drive through flooded roads and to turn around if you encounter high waters. That damage is also impacting the first week of school for some Cherry Creek students. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Brianna Fernandez in for Corey Rhodes.
And I'm Drew Carney. 9 News reporter Courtney Yu, meanwhile, joining us live here from Oberlin High School this morning. So Courtney, storms in that area, we know flooded intersections. In fact, we saw some drivers get trapped in their cars.
Yes, that's right, Drew and Brianna. So here at Oberlin High School, they're closed today. Aurora Fire Rescue says that they responded to 15 emergency calls on Saturday after light rain turned into a downpour that lasted more than 30 minutes. So again, Oberlin High School is closed today, as well as Highline Community Elementary School. So staff is going to be cleaning and sanitizing after some flood damage. But the flooding wasn't limited to just the schools. Take a look. So Nick's Garden Center in Aurora had customers in the store when the area started to flood. There was no warning and drivers were also caught off guard. The majority of the flooding centered on the Havana and Peoria corridors. 6 vehicles were stuck in the water. People were trapped inside their cars, submerged in knee-deep water, and had to be rescued, according to Aurora Fire Rescue. Battalion Chief Jason Haley was driving when the storm hit. He said it was chaos with zero visibility through his windshield. Within 5 to 10 minutes, emergency calls began pouring in.
When the people are stuck, the biggest thing is they don't really know what to do. And so for us, the message would be like, just hang tight in your car. When the rescuers get there, roll your window down if you're able to. Don't open your door. Roll the window down if possible.
No one was hurt over the weekend in that flooding, according to Aurora Fire Rescue. Oberlin High School will be back open again tomorrow, as well as Highline Community Elementary Schools. Live in Aurora, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
Courtney, thank you. And we get a little break from all of the storm activity that we saw over the weekend with the heavy rain and hail. Our ridge of high pressure that rolls back in, and that'll block off some of that monsoon surge that we've been watching as of late. It's been beneficial moisture. Of course, when there's damage, that's not what we like to see, but I'm glad no one was hurt over the weekend. In terms of conditions this morning, we have been watching a few storms impacting the far southeastern plains near La Junta. We're seeing that activity currently, but it's dry as can be. This morning, here across the Front Range, Denver, west into the mountains, and up over northern Colorado as well. Our temperatures this morning have cooled to the low 60s, but it will be a warmer afternoon. This is very typical for this time in late August to see temperatures starting off in the low 60s, which is where we are right now. You can see that quick warm up. A lot of sunshine for today. By noon, we'll be in the mid 80s and highs back to the low 90s. 90 degrees the expected high out of Denver International Airport, from Greeley down through Douglas County, low 90s as well. And then across the eastern plains, we do have the possibility for picking up a few isolated gusty storms, but a lot less moisture that will be impacting the state and creating that instability for today and tomorrow. Now, we do have storm chances that we'll be watching through the middle of the week. I'll take you through the extended forecast coming up. But this morning, Chris, how are things looking on the roadways?
Well, we're doing pretty good out there this morning. One small issue in the foothills. I'll show you here in just a second. We got 2 cameras pulled up for you. The headlights, those cars are coming southbound into the city on I-25. We are moving smoothly there. And here on this camera, we're also moving smoothly. The vehicles you see moving away right there are heading west into the foothills. But there is a crash just ahead of that camera. We'll flip over here and show you on the map. It's reported as a 2 right lane crash. So 1 crash, but the 2 right lanes were blocked. And this is from the Morrison exit up to the Lookout Mountain exit. If you live in that area, that's 259 and 256 respectively, those exit numbers. So there is a crash in between those two. So you'll be navigating that if you're going west into the foothills. Luckily, traffic is light. One other symbol here on the map. This is an off-highway crash. I drove through that intersection at 6th and Lincoln. It It is now clear, so that is some good news. Coming in from the north side, I showed you that camera speeds are in the low 70s, only an 8-minute drive from 144th down to I-76. The south side looks good coming out of Douglas County. We're moving smooth from Castle Rock on up into the Tech Center. Aurora, you're in good shape so far this morning on 225. Only a 9-minute drive to get from I-70 to I-25. And Drew, if you have a flight this morning, busy out there for a lot of business travelers, but the roads look good. We are green all the way to the airport.
All right, Chris, here's some video to go along with that story you just mentioned a moment ago. Denver police investigating that crash involving a car and a motorcycle near 6th and Broadway. Again, we know one person was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. We are still working to get an update on their condition. 6th Avenue, as Chris just mentioned, initially closed for investigators, but it is back open now.
A paraglider and a hang glider are recovering after colliding mid-air. The crash led to a rescue operation in the Aspen Mountain area. The Pitkin County Sheriff's Office says it happened just before 11 in the morning on Sunday. One of them suffered minor injuries and was able to walk to the road. Crews used a stretcher and a rope system to help get the other person to safety, then the hospital. We are working to learn how they're doing as of this morning. The Sheriff's Office says almost 36 first responders helped with that rescue.
Also in Pitkin County, a climber had to be rescued after falling 500 feet on a 14er. The Sheriff's Office says they fell while climbing the north face of North Maroon Peak. Mountain Rescue Aspen called in an Army helicopter, you see right there, from a nearby training site to help out. The climber, we know, was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, and the Sheriff's Office says it wants to remind climbers to always assess current conditions before heading out and make sure you're carrying the right equipment.
Aurora police there are looking into a deadly shooting after a man was found shot yesterday morning. Police say officers responded to reports of an unresponsive person lying on the sidewalk near Parker Road and Havana Street. This is very close to several businesses around that area. We know the victim is a 49-year-old man, but there are no details about potential suspects.
Authorities arrested a man accused of stabbing a woman in North Glen back on Friday. Alexei Rodriguez, you see there on your screen, was found hiding in a field before he was arrested. On Friday night, police responded to reports of a stabbing on Irma Drive. Officers say they found an injured woman who later died there at the scene. Lincoln County deputies tried to stop a car associated with the investigation, but they say the driver sped off.
Golden's former fire chief says he's planning to take legal action against the city. Casey Beal was fired last week after a racist incident at the fire station came to light. Back in March, someone hung a doll by the neck resembling Snoop Dogg. The city didn't acknowledge what happened until last month. Beal had been on administrative leave since August 3rd while the city looked into this. Yesterday, he issued a statement claiming the city hasn't disclosed all of the information about what happened. He claims the doll was immediately taken down and the incident was reported to Human Services. Beal says it was all handled in accordance with the city policy and denies that there was any attempts at a cover-up. We did reach out to the city of Golden for a response to Beal's statement. We have not heard back yet. The city manager was also fired last week.
Denver City Council is expected to vote on 2 items today. The first one is a $55 million contract with Denver Health. The agreement would provide health care services for people in custody at the Denver County Jail and the Downtown Detention Center. The second one is a bill to approve a $15 million deal with the Colorado Symphony that includes control over naming rights for the Betcher Concert Hall. The agreement would transfer the naming rights between the city and county of Denver and the Symphony. The Symphony is attempting to sell the naming rights to the city, with money from the sale going towards some renovations.
The city of Denver is bringing back an online parking ticket dispute system. For nearly a year, anyone who wanted to fight a ticket had to do that in person after the city closed an office that helped handle those disputes. Now the online option is coming back, and it should take some pressure off the courts. Our consumer investigator, Steve Stager, he found that the number of parking disputes hearings exploded since last fall by 47%. The new old parking ticket dispute process will go online next month on September 14th.